I love it. I'm not happy if I'm not working on a play.
For probably a half a century before that, one could say there was a stable set of values in the United States as well as in Europe. And when that was overturned and nothing that had been true was any longer true, you got the feeling that you were living in a very conditional world, which could be swept aside in 10 minutes.
It was gruesome. The whole atmosphere was terrible. And it was the last squeak, you might say, of any such movement between the two sides. And I never regretted I'd been part of it. It was interesting anyway. Aside from, it was futile, but it was an attempt in any way to not let all hope of peace vanish. I felt that they were really grinding down the American system to a powder, quite frankly. And just wasn't going to cooperate with it. It was a sin against this great idea we've got here of political liberty. Boredom, like in most things. People got bored with it, that's all. They couldn't get any headlines anymore. I'm convinced that's why they called me. They'd get another headline.
I know you, John Proctor. You love me. Whatever sin it is, you love me yet.
It was interesting because McCarthy was still alive when I did that play. And the audience was scared. There was certain hostility to the play, no question about it. soon after it opened, I met a guy in a gas station, and we were waiting for some parts for a car. I'd never met him before. And we got chatting, and I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm a salesman." I said, "What do you sell?" He said, "Church bells." I told him I write plays. And he said, "Like what?" And I said, "Well, one is on now. It's called Death of a Salesman." And he walked away. He wasn't really interested in that.
$1928. 1928. I had a big year. I averaged $170 a week in commissions in 1928.
You never averaged $170 a week.
I averaged $170 a week in the year of 1920. Average!
Your father came to me.
I was in the office here, right over this desk. He put his hand on my shoulder.
You'll have to excuse me. Willie! Willie! I gotta see some people.
The fathers are the carriers of the past. Their fathers are the authority, or were. Consequently, the struggle with the father becomes a struggle with the society. And it's reflected in my work. There are very few instances where a work of literature or art or drama or anything has actually changed the behavior of people directly. It's a very rare, unusual thing. All you can hope for, I think, and what you try to do is illuminate something that people can make up their own minds based upon the reality of the situation rather than the mythology. And if one can do that, it's enough. As crazy as this country is, and it certainly is, it's got a chance because of the craziness, because we're not definitely locked in by law to one course of action. We're capable of learning under this system, and that's a great hope.